OpenRewrite now supports JavaScript and TypeScript, so the same proven transformation model behind thousands of Java and Spring migrations now works for Node.js and front-end code too. To see it in action, let's run one of the first JavaScript recipes now available to help upgrade your Node version. In Node 22, the deprecated util.isX type checking methods were finally removed. This recipe replaces them automatically with the correct native checks like array.isArray or typeOfValue strict equals function. Let's walk through it using the Moderne CLI. First, make sure you're using the latest version of the Moderne CLI to ensure JavaScript support. Next, open the moderne.yaml config file in your home/.moderne/CLI directory to tell the CLI to include the JavaScript build step. If you don't have any build steps defined, you can add this whole section so all build steps are run, or if you have it already, just add the type::JavaScript step. This enables the CLI to understand and build JavaScript and TypeScript LSTs. Now it's time to decide what repositories to run recipes on. With the Moderne CLI, you can operate across multiple repositories. To define a custom set of repositories, use a CSV file with a clone URL field listing only the repos you're interested in. As an example, here's a simple repos.csv containing some open source projects that use the deprecated methods we want to replace. To sync them locally so you can build the LSTs and run the recipe, use the mod git sync CSV command. It's important to include the with sources option to make sure you grab the source code when you will be building the LSTs. Once those are synced, you can build the LSTs with mod build. Using the no download option ensures the CLI builds fresh LSTs using the JavaScript build step that was just configured. To run the migration, you need to first make sure the recipe is installed onto your machine. Use the mod config recipes npm install command. In this case, the recipe lives in the OpenRewrite/recipes-node.js module. Now you're ready to run the recipe. To help find it, you can use mod config recipes search and set it as the active recipe. Then use mod run with the active recipe option. This works across all of the synced repositories, and you can preview the results from each one to see the changes. The recipe finds and replaces all those deprecated util.isX calls with their native equivalents. And because OpenRewrite understands JavaScript syntax and semantics, it also cleans up the imports. You can review the changes in the diff file, or use mod git apply and mod git add to stage commits across all repos, and mod git commit once you're satisfied with the changes. That's a quick tour of a native JavaScript recipe to help with a Node 22 migration using OpenRewrite and the Moderne CLI. Now that you've built the LSTs for these JavaScript repos, you can reuse them and run other recipes against them. The library of JavaScript recipes is young but growing. However, some Java recipes will also run fine on JavaScript LSTs because they share the same underlying model. It shows that type-aware analysis and search can now work across languages using the same foundation. For example, I can run the find types recipe to flag and get a data table of all types, or of a specific type. Let's look for all uses of the JavaScript array type. View the results in the code, or use mod study to see an aggregated data table that lists all array type uses by repository and source file. What's powerful here isn't just this specific recipe though. You can now apply the same proven model that powers Java and Spring migrations to JavaScript and TypeScript. This is universal, cross-language code transformation in action. For more information, check out our documentation.